this is my review of Happy Sugar Life. Okay, so right off the bat, I'm just gonna say this. So after seeing Tayo getting his ass kicked by a bunch of thugs, Shio actually has a mental breakdown and begins remembering brief glimpses of her past, which are eventually punctuated by the vision of her mother that we've been seeing for the past episode, telling her that she will never forgive her for running away, with the implication being that she's run away she ran away because she came from an abusive household, and at some point lost her memories because of it. It's entirely possible that she doesn't really remember what happens, but brief glimpses into her mind show us that she came from an abusive household and she ran away because she was afraid of being hurt again. So and then Satou wound up finding her. So afterwards, after having said mental breakdown, she passes out, and the two thugs decide to stop focusing their attention on Tayo and instead focus their attention on Shio, with the intention of using her as bait to lure Asaki over so that they can beat him up. But then Satou shows up and brutally attacks both of them, and then gouges out one of the eyes of one of them, and then leaves with Shio in her arms, which Tayo only catches a brief glimpse of before passing out again. And case in point, he spends the next day recuperating from his injuries and doesn't show up to work that day, but does begin to suspect that Satou has something to do with Shio's disappearance. And the fact that Shio's family is looking for her, but he does spend only most of the next day recuperating, so we don't really see much of him in the episode. He is there briefly, but for the most part we don't really see him for the rest of the episode after this. Meanwhile, Satou carries the unconscious Shio back to their apartment. And when Shio wakes up, she apologizes profusely to Satou for worrying her and for wandering off because she was worried when Satou didn't come home on time. And at which point Satou consoles her and tells her that even if she isn't home on time, she will never truly leave her. And with Shio's mind now at ease, she goes to sleep. The two go to sleep, but then Satou wakes up in the middle of the night and makes preparations to make sure that Shio doesn't wander off again, and winds up installing a lock on the outside of the door so that Shio doesn't wind up wandering off. Because the implication is that she doesn't want Shio to stay put so that she'll always be able to come home to her. And it's kind of hard to do that when Shio just kind of wanders off on her own accord to go look for Satou. So while it is implied that it probably isn't the most ethical means of keeping Shio inside the house, Satou does try to make preparations to make sure that Shio doesn't wander off again. And she does. She installs the lock on the outside of the door and then goes to school, where we find out that her teacher has actually been investigating what happened to her aunt, because it's implied at this stage that her aunt disappeared or something, and nobody has heard from her aunt from Satou's aunt in a while, and is concerned that maybe Satou actually wound up killing her aunt. So the implication is there. So the implication is definitely there. But it's only implied at this stage. And it's never actually stated outright if that's what actually happened. I mean, obviously but it's also pointed out in this episode too that Satou isn't living in the same place that her aunt used to live. She shows up at work where it's found. She shows up at work where it's revealed that her workplace is not only shutting down or closing early because of the aforementioned gouging out of a thug's eyes by Satou, and nobody noticed. But it's also implied that they've been trying to send her a package for God knows how long, and it's been stuck in postage for a while because nobody at her house is picking up. So the implication is but the implication is that she's at a different address, is that she moved to a different address with Shio, which means that she just kind of took some random dude's apartment, apparently. But that also begs the question of what happened to her aunt. So because it's implied, but never say it outright that that something is wrong with Sato's aunt, and for whatever reason she's not answering the door. But it's also implied that Sato is living in a completely different place than where she used to live with her aunt. So it begs the question, what actually happened? But after putting in her 9 to 5 and actually working a few more shifts so that she can make a lot of money, something she explains to her fellow employees, she goes home. But she goes home unaware that Shio has actually been apparently sketching a photo of her mother inside one of the cabinets, and is actually trying and figure out what exactly who the woman is. And it's implied to be her mother, but Shio doesn't know that. She's confused. She doesn't know what to think. But she is also keeping a secret from Sato-chan, and also points out that and also is keeping the fact that she met Tayo a secret from Sato. But then Shio turns in early. They never get to say their vows, and Sato realizes she needs to ask her tomorrow, and also begins to clean up some of the blood that splattered on one of the walls of that room that she keeps locked at all times. So the implication is that she's trying to clean up the mess, but also realizes that she may not have to worry too much because they never really use that room anyway. So I don't know. But yeah, the implication is that she killed somebody, but the identity of said victim is never explained outright in the series at all. But it's implied that it's not her aunt. It's implied that it may or may not be her aunt, because she's clearly living in a completely different complex than where she lived with her aunt. But at the same time, she did clearly kill somebody because she had her teacher dispose of the remains, and is also trying to clean up whoever it is' blood. So the implication is that Sato killed somebody, but who? I mean, yeah, and also Shio-chan isn't doing too well. She's trying to piece together memories of her past by sketching things in the closet with the magic crayon. And yeah, the implication here is that some things are just not what they seem. Shio is innocent, sure, but there's clearly things she's going through as well. So she's clearly mentally unstable, just like all the rest of the characters in this world. But hers takes a bit of a different turn. She seems to be suffering from memory loss of some kind, but she also seems to struggle when she sees blood or anything related to violence. So the implication is that she came from an abusive household and lost her memories at some point after that. It's never explained how, but I'm assuming it will be explained in a later episode why Shio is the way she is and why she has memory loss. But for right now, if you guys have seen this episode of Happy Sugar Life, then what did you guys think? Let's get discussing on the comment section down below, or over on my Discord server, link in the description. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoyed, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, be sure to follow me on Facebook and on Twitter in the description below if you want to help keep up to date with what's going on with this channel, because I post channel updates over there as well as whatever game development stuff I find over there. But yeah, check those out in the description below as well. And also, if you want to help support the show, then be sure to check out my Patreon. So only a couple bucks a month, you get access to a bunch of cool perks, and it helps me out, so I would definitely appreciate it if you did that. But anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and until next time, I will see you guys in the next video. Peace!